Right now, more than half of your employees are using AI tools your company never approved. A 2024 Salesforce survey puts the number at 55%, not in a future projection. Right now, and they're feeding those tools your data. Shadow IT has existed for decades. An employee installs Dropbox without asking IT. A team spins up a free collaboration tool. That's the old version of the problem. Shadow AI is categorically different. Traditional shadow IT stores your data somewhere unauthorized. Shadow AI actively processes it. That distinction matters more than most security teams realize. When an employee pastes a contract into ChatGPT, that document doesn't just move to a new location. It becomes input for an external model. It enters conversation history. It may inform future outputs. And it leaves your network with no approval, no record, and no way to retrieve it. This is not a fringe behavior. A 2024 Salesforce survey found 55% of employees already admit to using unapproved AI tools. ChatGPT, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, used without IT sign-off, without security review, without any audit trail. In most cases, without their employer even knowing. On April 9, 2026, Cybersecurity published an analysis on the Hacker News. A disclosure upfront: Cybersecurity is a cybersecurity vendor. They sell security software. That is important context when evaluating their conclusions. But the structural threats they identify are technically grounded and worth examining closely. Cybersecurity argues shadow AI creates 3 compounding threats. Not one vulnerability, 3, layered on top of each other. And each one operates in a different blind spot of your existing security stack. The first threat: uncontrolled data exposure. Every time an employee uses an unapproved AI tool, they create an unlogged data transfer. DLP, short for data loss prevention, is the security layer that monitors what data leaves your network. Shadow AI bypasses DLP entirely. The data is transmitted before any monitoring system can log it. It is simply gone. And the data in question is not low value. Cybersecurity's analysis cites proprietary source code, patient medical records, financial forecasting models, merger terms, internal strategy documents. Any sensitive information an employee works with daily is a candidate for unintentional exposure. The second threat Cybersecurity identifies: an expanded attack surface. When employees connect to external AI platforms independently, they create integration points. These are called API endpoints, digital doorways between your internal environment and an outside service. Each doorway requires an authentication token. A token is a digital key, a unique string that proves identity and grants access. Employees generate these tokens informally. They store them in personal notes, in emails, in browser bookmarks, without involving IT at any stage. Without any central record, these tokens exist. Here is the risk. If an attacker compromises even one token, they may gain access to every system that token touches. Shadow AI creates dozens of these informal, untracked tokens across a workforce simultaneously. None of them are stored in your credential management system. None will be rotated on a standard security schedule. Most will never be revoked because no record of their creation exists. Each forgotten token is a door that may stay open indefinitely. The third threat is the most technically significant. Shadow AI bypasses security controls entirely, and it does so without leaving a trace. Traditional enterprise firewalls inspect network traffic. They look for unusual patterns, bulk data moving in unexpected directions, connections to unknown hosts, flagged file types traveling where they shouldn't. But AI tools communicate over HTTPS. That's the same encrypted protocol your bank uses. To a firewall, an employee uploading a proprietary financial model to an AI platform looks identical to that same employee checking their email. Standard inspection tools cannot tell the difference. That means entire categories of data exfiltration can occur without triggering a single alert. No firewall flag, no DLP notification, no log entry. The security team sees nothing unusual because nothing in their current toolset is designed to look for this. Together, these 3 threats do not simply add up. They compound. Untracked data, unmanaged tokens, invisible transfers. This is not one vulnerability that can be patched. It is a structural blind spot, a category of risk that standard enterprise security was never designed to address. Who bears the real-world cost? Every organization that handles sensitive data. But certain industries face specific, acute exposure. In healthcare, patient records fall under HIPAA, a federal law with strict requirements for how health data is handled and transmitted. When a clinician pastes patient symptoms into an unapproved AI diagnostic tool, those records may leave the covered network. HIPAA liability does not disappear because the intent was to help a patient. In financial services, analysts using AI to model earnings forecasts may inadvertently expose non-public material information. That is a potential regulatory violation, regardless of intent. In legal services, attorney client privilege is at stake. A lawyer using an AI tool to draft a brief may expose confidential client strategy to a platform governed by entirely different privacy terms. In technology companies, developers routinely paste source code into AI assistants for debugging help. Each paste is a potential intellectual property exposure event. In some jurisdictions, it may constitute a trade secret disclosure. The common thread across every industry: the employee believes they are being productive. They are not acting maliciously. They found a tool that makes their work faster. They used it, but intent does not change outcome. Data leaving a protected system without oversight creates exposure, whether the employee meant harm or not. That is the core challenge. The threat model here is not a rogue actor breaching a perimeter. It is a well-meaning employee operating outside the systems designed to protect them. That makes this problem harder to solve than a traditional intrusion. You cannot block employee productivity. You can only redirect it. If you are an IT administrator or security leader, here are 4 concrete steps you can take now. First, conduct a shadow AI audit. Survey your workforce. Find out which tools employees are already using. You cannot address a risk you cannot see. Second, establish an approved AI policy with real alternatives. Give employees sanctioned tools that meet your security requirements. Shadow AI thrives in the absence of approved options. Remove that gap. Third, deploy AI-aware monitoring. Traditional DLP and firewalls are not sufficient here. Tools built specifically to detect AI traffic patterns can surface shadow usage before sensitive data leaves your environment. Fourth, train employees on the risk, not just the rule. An employee who understands that pasting patient data into an external AI tool creates a HIPAA exposure event will think differently. Policy memos do not change behavior. Understanding the consequence does. The goal is not to ban AI adoption. AI tools are genuinely productive. The goal is to bring adoption into the light where your security controls can actually function. Shadow AI is not a coming threat. According to a 2024 Salesforce survey, more than half your workforce is already using it. The data is already moving. The only question is whether your organization can see it. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe to the Hack Ledger. We cover the security stories that actually matter every week.